In June 1984, an elderly woman was found murdered inside her apartment in Los Angeles.
After neighbors noticed her front door partially open during the morning, and investigators entering the residence discovered signs of a violent nighttime attack. Only days later, another victim was attacked inside her home after someone entered quietly through an unlocked window before dawn. And investigators realized the attacker moved silently through neighborhoods, targeting sleeping victims.
Weeks later, a young woman driving home late at night disappeared after stopping at a gas station. And her abandoned vehicle was discovered near an isolated road outside the city, with blood evidence inside the car.
Investigators connected the incidents through shoe prints, fingerprints, and similarities in the way the attacker entered homes during nighttime hours before escaping before sunrise.
Then another murder occurred when a couple sleeping inside their house awoke to sounds coming from the hallway.
Moments before an armed intruder entered the bedroom and attacked them.
One victim survived long enough to describe the suspect as a thin man with dark clothing,
moving calmly through the house while searching rooms after the attack.
As the attack spread across California, investigators discovered the killer constantly changed locations,
selecting apartments, houses, and neighborhoods dozens of miles apart, making patterns difficult to predict.
Another woman survived after escaping through a back door while the intruder searched another room.
And she described seeing a stolen vehicle speeding away from the area moments later.
Detectives traced the vehicle and discovered it had been abandoned only hours after the attack, with fingerprints partially visible inside the car. Then, a teenage girl disappeared after witnesses saw her entering a vehicle near a convenience store late at night.
And investigators later found evidence connecting her disappearance to earlier attacks linked to the same suspect.
The killer continued entering homes through windows, unlocked doors, and sliding entrances, often attacking victims while they slept, before fleeing into darkness.
Investigators recovered matching shoe impressions from multiple scenes and determined the suspect wore
a rare type of athletic shoes sold in limited numbers across the United States.
Police distributed the shoe information nationally, while detectives tracked every known purchase connected to the model. Another attack followed inside a suburban home, where survivors reported the intruder carried weapons, moved through rooms confidently, and spoke to victims before escaping.
One witness described the suspect's face clearly after headlights briefly illuminated him while he fled across a residential street during the early morning hours.
Sketches based on witness descriptions spread rapidly through media broadcasts, and investigators received hundreds of tips from across California.
Then another major discovery occurred when investigators recovered fingerprints from a stolen vehicle, abandoned near one of the crime scenes, and forensic analysis linked the prints directly to Richard Ramirez, a drifter with prior arrests.
Police immediately launched a statewide manhunt while Ramirez continued moving between cities, committing additional break-ins, assaults, and murders during the search. One family survived after hiding inside a bathroom while the intruder searched their house with a flashlight before suddenly leaving after hearing nearby noises outside. Another witness saw Ramirez climbing through a window moments before police patrols entered the neighborhood, responding to emergency calls.
Detectives reconstructed his movements using stolen vehicles, motel stays, witness sightings, and bus routes stretching across California during the crime spree.
The attacks escalated rapidly as Ramirez targeted victims of different ages inside houses, apartments, and motel rooms, often leaving scenes only minutes before police arrived. Investigators discovered he frequently stole cars after attacks, driving through highways at night before abandoning vehicles near future crime scenes. One survivor later identified Ramirez directly from police photographs, confirming he was
the same man who entered her bedroom during a nighttime attack months earlier.
As the manhunt intensified, police released additional evidence, descriptions, and media coverage flooded television broadcasts, newspapers, and radio stations throughout California. Then Ramirez unexpectedly traveled to Arizona while investigators continued searching Los Angeles, believing he remained hidden nearby. During his absence, police publicly released his photograph nationwide, and within hours, citizens across Los Angeles began recognizing his face from television coverage. In August 1985, Richard Ramirez returned to Los Angeles, unaware that his identity had already been released publicly across newspapers, television stations, and police bulletins. After stepping off a bus, he entered a convenience store and immediately noticed people staring at him, while newspapers displayed his photograph beside headlines describing the Night Stalker murders.
Moments later, several citizens recognized him, and Ramirez fled through streets, alleys, and parking lots while people chased him, shouting warnings to nearby residents.
He attempted to steal a vehicle, but was forced to abandon it after the driver escaped, and bystanders continued pursuing him through residential neighborhoods.
Witnesses called police while Ramirez ran across fences, backyards, and side streets, attempting to escape the growing crowd following him.
At one point, he attacked a man and stole keys to another vehicle.
But local residents blocked his escape route before officers finally arrived and arrested him.
Investigators transported Ramirez into custody and immediately connected him to fingerprints, ballistic evidence, stolen vehicles.
Witness identifications and physical evidence collected from multiple crime scenes.
Searches uncovered weapons, stolen property, photographs, and evidence linked directly to victims attacked during the crime spree across California. Detectives reconstructed the complete timeline, showing Ramirez traveled constantly between cities, entering homes during late-night hours before escaping by vehicle or public transportation before sunrise.
Forensic teams matched fingerprints, shoe impressions, ballistic evidence, and stolen property recovered from crime scenes directly to Ramirez, confirming his involvement in numerous murders, assaults, and burglaries. Survivors identified him repeatedly during lineups, and investigators linked additional unsolved attacks to his movements across California during 1984 and 1985. Court proceedings later revealed details from multiple attacks, including break-ins, nighttime home invasions, stolen vehicles, motel stays, and escape routes used after murders. Investigators also discovered Ramirez monitored news reports about the manhunt while continuing attacks, despite growing police pressure and media coverage. The final evidence timeline connected dozens of crimes across separate cities, showing non-stop movement, disappearances, attacks, vehicle thefts, home invasions, and murders over more than a year. Detectives concluded that Ramirez avoided capture for so long because he constantly changed neighborhoods, transportation methods, and victim profiles while traveling rapidly across California. The Night Stalker case officially ended after the public recognition and street chase leading to Ramirez's arrest, becoming one of the most famous citizen-assisted captures in American criminal history.